Good evening, friends. Today, this is our fifth day of Rasaja festival. As every day, we actually start this festival almost early in the morning when the artists start their work. However, the formal part, or the part which actually we put for the larger audience, begins in the second half, which normally is between 4 and 5. This evening's presentation is like every day divided in two parts. First is where we have artists' workshop. You might have seen the artists, they share their work, they have their own narratives of their struggle. Today, this workshop has a different dimension that I will leave Anandamoy to describe. This workshop will be followed by an evening concert like every day. We have had such wonderful concerts. We began with Pandit Gagan Hoti's sitar. Then we had Dr. Ravi Joshi's Khayal, followed by his Nirgun Bhajan, which was amazing for 3 hours. They said in Uttarakhand, they had never heard of this kind of concert before. Another surprise was another local artist belonging to Uttarakhand, a brilliant performer, which perhaps very few have heard. And this I got to know from the maestro, globally exposed tabla player, Somen Nandi, who has been playing with Buddhaditya Mukherjee for 15 years. He has been going around the world, and he said Smith was a discovery, an amazing sarod player. We all enjoyed that sarod player. And to top it all, yesterday we had another performance. This was, of course, courtesy SRA, the Sangeet Research Academy of ITC of Kolkata. Our efforts of having evening concerts in Delhi gave us this reputation that they thought that it would be worthwhile sponsoring one of their artists. So they had sent this time not 1, 2, but 3 of their masters. We had an excellent duet of sitar and flute, accompanied by this brilliant tabla player, Somen Nandi. So this has been a series of classical music. Today we are deviating a bit, as we have been having in art, the contemporary wing, again accompanied by the folk part. The folk part we have been having Mamoni from Midnapur, the well-known present Potwa Chitra, I think one of the best that we can see in the country. In fact, we had included her in one of our art workshops, those who might have seen. And also we have 2 more. One is the Gariba Tekam Singh of Chhattisgarh, now of course settled in Bhopal. He has, his gond paintings are, I think by now it's world famous, and it adores many a drawing room I have seen. It has become a fashion. Unless and until one wall has a gond painting, you are not there. So Gariba also had one part of workshop. So today, just like the folk art, we begin 2 days of folk music. This evening, we are going to be having Pandavani. They have also come from very far, I think, remote part of Bhilai or Chhattisgarh. I think they have come from Bhilai. So they will be performing just after this workshop. And tomorrow we have Manganer of Jaisalmer. So from today begins this journey, 2 days journey of folk music, and I was quite amused to hear Ayan Sengupta say yesterday that the basis of Hindustani Shastriya music is folk music. He is actually an academician of SRA, so he must be having some basis for saying this. So without going into much detail, I would request Anandamai to start this part of workshop. And in this workshop, apart from general narratives, he's going to add another part which I have requested is on art education. Because I think art education is one of the most difficult part of the academic career that we are following. If it was so easy, then Picasso would have never said, "It took me a whole lifetime to draw like a child." So this particular subject, somehow, I thought, let us clarify a little more, and no one better than Anandamai who can perhaps do it. Anandamai, can I request you?
Are we going to do it right now? First of all, we thought we'll finish with Sushanto's slide talk and my talk, slide talk, and then we continue.
Okay, as you, whatever you're comfortable with, but this will be. So, we begin with our art, one of the important members of the camp, Sushanto Go, to start his slideshow, just like what we had yesterday, one of them. This will be followed by Anandamai's academic discussion. Over to Sushanto. Oh, Dida, Dida.
Hello, good morning, good evening. First of all, I must thank to all my senior Dada and Bodhi and other friends, colleagues and all who really every day they coming and watching this all program patiently, and I am also watching all these wonderful evenings. Apart from my practice of the whole day, but I'm really enjoying this entire thing, which is foundation and Lake Resort Place, owner Mr. Mahendra Vermaji, and of course music part. Dada said that ITC Calcutta they are sponsoring.
One session.
Yeah, one session of course. But it's really wonderful, and I'm really glad and I'm really thankful to them. Rasaja gave me such opportunity to show my work in this place. And now my name is Sushant Guha. I am Delhi-based artist. I'm living, and I used to teach in an institution for children, and I have completed my services, and in 2020 then I'm practicing my work independently. Even before that, soon after completing my fine arts practice from Shantiniketan, I came to Delhi to 1982. 82, end of 82, 83. And since then, I was practicing my work. My subject is printmaking, graphic art, and in a studio run by Lalit Kala Academy in Delhi. So they have a studio, painting, sculpture, all this, ceramic. So I am practicing there my printmaking since then, and still I am going there and creating my work, because printmakers, they need some kind of press and other equipments. It is little technical subject. So and basically we create a block, and then from the block we take impression on paper. And advantage of printmaking is that once you create a block, you can take multiple number of images, so that your work of art will reach multiple number house, and everybody can enjoy and like your work. So this is the basic difference between painting. Painting you can't reproduce. For that you have to take photograph and you take digital print. But printmaking you can do manually, same thing, as many number you want. And my journey started in Delhi after finishing my art college. I did my bachelor's and master's from Shantiniketan, and I came to Delhi with a national scholarship, and with the help of little support I started my career. And rest, you are the best judge to see the work and say about what I have done, what are the faults, how you like or anything. And of course artists, they have such kind of thing, they never get satisfied with their work, and every time they think, okay, let's do, I can do better in next work. So this way my journey begins, and I am practicing that, looking and searching my own path. Thank you. Now I am showing my prints. This is small biodata I have put in this slide presentation, so that you can just go through this about what are the things I have done in my, after finishing college from 83 onwards till today. This is my statement about my work, what kind of work I do, and what is the thought behind the work and all this. Shall I change?
Yes. Yeah, I can't read it.
This is the concept note.
While showing your slides, if you can say these things, we will understand better.
See, it's very difficult to tell all the thing in concise way. So
you don't have to cover the whole syllabus.
it's better.
Whatever you can say, I think that will be fine.
That's why I put in a slide presentation, that you, at least you can make out the artist, how he is doing, what are the characters he has, and this. Okay, next.
Yeah.
This is the work I have started in 1983. Soon after finishing my college, I came to Delhi and I joined Ghadi Artist Studio, Lalit Kala, run by Lalit Kala. This is lithograph. Everything is written at the top, bottom you can make out. This second work, 83's work. And I have divided my works in different phases. And some works in 80s are some kind of, and the works in 90s. There were a lot of changes came in my work, and of course I've been to abroad. I worked there in their studios. There I got very different interaction, and my work changes there. After coming back again, I mixed both the things. So this is the way I grew, and I created my work. So I put only few slides, which is the significant one uh, from very coming from Shantiniketan, a very uh, peaceful place, and there is everywhere there is a nature, human beings, santals and all. And just after coming to Delhi, it was very contrast life. This is urban life, and very in urban life there are a lot of struggle. I have seen people struggling for their daily uh, livelihood, and there is a lot of concrete thing. People are very moving here and there. Their life is very fast if you compare with life in Shantiniketan. So this is the work I have. I have shown a masjid, DDA flats, and some chimneys like that. And a blind Maulviji is walking the stairs, going to the masjid. This is another interesting subject really fascinated me in Delhi, that is dhavas. In Delhi, those days there were a lot of dhava, and mainly at the evening time I have seen the people are coming to dhava. Basically they are laborers, construction laborers. They are coming in a place, juggi type of dhava. They are coming and having their food, and there are shops like blacksmiths are there, darji is there, small temple is there. So evening they are, soon after coming on that spot, they are giving their powder and gaiti to their blacksmith people to make it sharpen. And after they are going to the shop, they are eating their roti, sabji and all. And from there, they are going to the darji place, whatever they have to stitch there. Like way, and after finishing all these things, they go back to their shed, and then next day morning they have to rush for the work for the construction site. So this whole thing fascinated me, and I painted. I just did lot of sketches, on the spot sketches I have done, and from there I make a lithograph. And this is the works done on stone, litho stone, and from there you pull the images. Stone, yes, there is litho stone. Litho, we call it block.
Got it.
Yes. This is the darji shop, and the place is situated near Bhogal ashram, very close to Gadi studio. So there I found it's very interesting place. This is the dhaba, typical Delhi dhaba at the winter time. So this work I got a lot of appreciation in. I got one award in Calcutta Birla Academy, annual award in this particular work. See, in 90s my works has started change. A lot of change came in my work, and I used to do the sketches and studies on Bahurupi. Street side of Gadi village, there are Bahurupis are coming, they are performing sometime Laila Majnu, sometime this Hanumanji, sometime other thing. So here I have drawn Hanumanji with a mask, and another person is a Neta, leader who came to visit the village with a guard. So Hanumanji is challenging him that you also came with a mask to the common people. This is the basic concept I picked up from there, and I made this lithograph. It's a small multicolor lithograph. And my works are basically 80s, 90s, more on social themes, social I used to show the social problem, human being, people, how they are living in a urban life and their day-to-day struggles. Those are my subject matters. This work I have done on Bombay riots. There was a curfew and people are peeping out from inside the house. After murder, police is patrolling the area. This is etching. It's written over there, of course. 1990. This particular work I have done on stone lithograph, and that was kind of there was Advaniji's Ratha Yatra, and there was lot of violence on that time. And Ratha Yatra, basically, it was that Ramji to protect the Ramji from the mythological character, we are doing the Ratha Yatra and motivating the people that we are in, लोग खतरे में हैं, हमारा धर्म खतरे में है, इसलिए हम ये रथ यात्रा कर रहे हैं. So I have shown a stage on a Rath Yatra. I am not naming anyone. There is a leader one side, and in between there is a journalist. He is chewing his thumb, and Ram is going out of the frame because I think he was a peace-loving person. If you read about Ramcharitmanas, he was very different kind of person. He has nothing to do with this politics. So that was kind of protest I have made it in this work. And this particular work, 92, I have made on, there was a Iraq war. So I have taken subject matter from the war, 1992. I have made few series on this work. Is a Nemesis, 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. This is Nemesis 3. Some imageries, some characters I have taken from the previous work, and this is the third work. In 93, I have done a silk screen on peace. I have shown a pigeon, white pigeon, and there's a dragon, and child in the below. He's just watching this, and a hand who is मतलब एक pigeon जो है हमें शांति के प्रतीक हम समझते हैं, और एक हाथ उसे पकड़ने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. ये एक ऐसा कॉन्सेप्ट के ऊपर मैंने ये काम किया था. 94. This work actually I have done. I've been to England I got a Charles Wallace Fellowship, and I been there for a 6-month research training program, and this is the street of London. I've done on lithography, color lithography. So I used to travel every evening street side of London, and then I've seen the life over there. 97, this is the work on dry point on a plate, and this is the orchestra on stage. This work on memory of my visit to England. On the way, I had a stopover at Dubai city for a day only. I reached there, Dubai, the morning, and I asked them I want to go to travel inside the city. They said, okay, you deposit your everything on the counter in the airport, and I'm giving a piece of paper. You go back, and after evening, my flight was in the evening, connecting flight for London. So I travel inside the city. I went to across the Dehra. I've been there. I've seen museum and all. And evening time I came back. So after returning to London, first work I have done on lithostone on my memory of city, Falcon City. This is another work I have done on the series called color lithography. This work I have done in London while my staying over there. London Street over bridge, and a blue I have shown Krishna, a blue god. He is alien there. So title is Alien on Street. And with the heavy overcoat, I am standing and watching. It's a color lithography. This again a color lithography, and I have done over there in England because I went there to learn some new technique called transfer method. Plate litho, image transfer, photographic transfer on plate, and from there you can pull out negative and positive both the images. So this work done over there. This is the another work, it's between the two. Here I have shown it's English window and some angels coming out, and the girl who is fear is running out from one place to another place. And I have shown water also. Under water there are some animals, are crocodiles and all there, but she is running on land. This work also I received a lot of appreciation. I got national award by Lalit Kala in this particular work. Same work I have done in England with the memories of film. The best film I have seen this film is Battleship Potemkin. I have taken photographs from there and I transfer on a plate, negative and positive, both the images, and then I printed in different way. So if you have seen the film Battleship Potemkin, probably you can make out this very important character of there on the film. Woman, she got a gunshot on her eyes and broken specs. Very important, world famous photograph this is. This is another work, it's an experimental work, woodblock print and laser, is a color laser print, that colored one, and the woodblock print is the rice paper woodblock print pasted on top it. Dragon images. Another series I have started is called Living Fossil. I have made 3-4 images on the same series, and subject matter is basically human being getting robotized machine kind of, and losing the human values. So, and this human being, whatever we are doing on name of progress, we are violating earth, we are violating space as well as under sea creatures. So I showed this figure like a robot and human greed. This is second work on the same. I have taken images, photo images, undersea images I printed in some color, and on top other colors are also there. This is the third work. That time also, second time Iraq war was there, and American government was trying to capture the Saddam Hussein. So a lot of, you can see the Baghdad burning and all these. So I made 4 works. In my 4th work, I have shown the Saddam Hussein was captured. So I put only 3 works on this same. This is another work, Gypsy family. You can see if you go to city, any city, I have seen these people, they are in street side, they have a small uh, van or some cart, they are doing their work, selling some khurpi and all these tawa and all, and they live there, and after a few days they go out from, they move out from same place to another place. So it's basically gypsy family. So etching aquatine. Another series called Reflection of Desire, Human Desire I have shown, and it is also etching aquatine. I have shown the children, they are playing on tree, and other people, man, woman, in their relationship also they have a different desire. I have shown another person holding a building. Is a real estate agent or person who had a desire to make buildings and make this city full of multi-story. So everybody have their own different desires. On concept of that, this work I have made. And I have made few works on same series. I am showing only 1 or 2. This is the third one on the same series. So people have a desire to crossing one place to another place and just to fly. These are my few canvases which I made a mixed media transfer on canvas, transfer on paper, and that all pasted on canvas. Lot of different images you can find there, factories, you can find buildings and all. And the images I have taken from magazine and all. Those I have enlarged, and through Photoshop I made the images little bit changed on it through Photoshop, and then I printed, and the text part is printed through the laser printer on canvas. And I have used some dry pastel also in the same work. This is the second title, The Existence. I have nearly 7-8 canvases. I am showing only 2. This is another work, 2009, is the series called His Magical World. I made 7-8 works on same series, and here I have shown human being, people, man, woman, their desire, their psychological state of mind, and all these. And some I have showed some water thing, and the people are getting their face getting reflected on it. This is another work on same. In this particular work, I have shown a baul, a traditional singer of Bengal, and he is also performing along with our performance in the city. So I have shown the contrast life of the city and urban and another small town areas. Here I have shown Buddha, the middle part. It's a quite big work, etching, aquating, and Buddha I showed who always preach the people for peace. And I have showed several hands, Buddha, and he's holding a mobile phone, he's holding so many things in different hand. And I showed two figure. It's archetypal, you can say, is a kind of Kali, representative Kali, and for destruction. So ultimately, if we do lot of, if we do fiddling, always fiddling with nature and creation of God, then ultimate thing is that this will go to the destruction. It will harm. It will be harmful for the human being. In this particular work, I showed this. This is life. This particular work is a quite big one. You can see the size, and in the middle, I have shown a human being. His last is he on a, मतलब वो शमशान में उनकी चिता जल रही है, और बाकी दोनों तरफ ह्यूमन सिविलाइजेशन है. एक तरफ एलियंस की बात हम सोचते हैं, जो एलियंस हमारे यहाँ आएंगे कभी या कभी थे, उनके प्रेजेंस क्या चेंज हो सकती है. बट अल्टीमेटली हमारा जो है, हम लोग ह्यूमन जो लाइफ है वो एट सर्टन पॉइंट, सर्टन स्टेज हमारी जो है, हम मिट्टी में ही वापस चले जाते हैं, मिल जाते हैं. हमारा एग्जिस्टेंस एक समय के बाद ख़त्म हो जाता है. लेकिन हमारी इमेजिनेशन है, आवर इमेजिनेशन इज गोइंग फार बियॉन्ड. लाइक वी आर इमेजिनिंग गोइंग टू चांद तो हो ही चुका है, और सारे प्लैनेट्स में जाने का है. हमारे जो डिज़ायर है, ह्यूमन डिज़ायर, वो सारे टू कॉन्कर द डिफरेंट प्लैनेट्स. और ये सारी चीज़ जो है ह्यूमन डिज़ायर है वो, और कंटिन्यूएशन में है. अभी एआई भी आ चुका है, लेकिन एक सर्टन स्टेज के बाद वही इंसान ख़त्म हो जा रहा है, उसका प्रेजेंस ख़त्म है. लेकिन उसके जो क्रिएशंस है, वो जो करके जाता है, वो एग्जिस्ट करता है, और नेक्स्ट जनरेशन के लिए वो सोचता है कि मैं नेक्स्ट जनरेशन के लिए छोड़ के जा रहा हूँ, पर वो कितना हेल्पफुल है, हेल्दी है, उसके बारे में हम नहीं सोचते. ये एक बहुत बड़ा डिलेमा है कि हम जो भी करते सोचते हैं कि वी आर डूइंग बेटरमेंट फॉर द आवर कमिंग जनरेशन, पर वो रियली एक्सेप्टेबल है या नहीं, नेक्स्ट जनरेशन को उनको चाहिए या नहीं, इसके बारे में हम बहुत कम सोचते हैं. ये एक कॉन्सेप्ट के ऊपर मैंने ये काम बनाया है. ये है डाउनलोड फ्रॉम लाइफ. इसमें दिखाया है आर्किटेक्चर है, अर्बन आर्किटेक्चर, फोलिएजेस है. ऊपर मैंने दिखाया है कि ह्यूमन बीइंग, दो मैन वुमन, वो सब खड़े हैं, डिजिटल वर्ल्ड की तरफ जा रहे हैं, और उनका डिजिटल इंटरेक्शन है. ह्यूमनली इंटरेक्शन में डिजिटलाइज हो चुका है सब कुछ. ये उसके ऊपर है. ये है पिरान्हा लेक. आई शोड दैट फिश, पर्टिकुलर फिश जो वाटर बॉडीज़ में है, रहते हैं, और जब जहाँ पे वो रहते हैं वहाँ पे दूसरे कोई पानी के जो मछली है या कोई क्रीचर्स वो वहाँ नहीं रह सकते हैं. तो एक फियर है. सो दिस फियर वी ऑलवेज कीपिंग इन आवर माइंड कि ऐसे ऐसे क्रिएशन है गॉड के, जो वो आपको हमेशा एक थ्रेट में रखता है. तो पानी के नीचे भी पिरान्हा जो है, वो दूसरे एनिमल्स के, पानी के जो पानी में रहने वाले जीव जंतु हैं, मछलियां हैं, छोटे छोटे कीड़े हैं, उनके लिए थ्रेट है. ये उस कॉन्सेप्ट के ऊपर मैंने ये काम बनाया. यहाँ पे मैं वापस आ रहा हूँ नेचर पे. मैं अभी थोड़ा नेचर के ऊपर ही एम्फेसिस करके काम कर रहा हूँ. तो यहाँ पे नेचर में जो हमें फ्लावर, प्लांट्स और जो भी चीज़ दिखते हैं, उनको मैं थोड़ा सा इनलार्ज करके दिखाने की कोशिश करता हूँ. ये उस कॉन्सेप्ट के ऊपर है, एकदम नया काम है, पिछले 3 साल के काम है ये जो है, ये लिथोग्राफ है। मतलब कोरोना के बाद का है, 2022 से ये काम शुरू किया है। ये भी वही एक कॉन्सेप्ट के ऊपर है। जब हमारे मुंह पे मास्क थे, हम बाहर के दुनिया को कैसे, जीव जंतु को कैसे देखते थे, तब हमारे मुंह पे मास्क थे। उस समय हम लोग थ्रेट पे थे और वो खुले घूमते थे, चिड़िया, सांप, ये सब। ये एक और काम है जो मैंने 2023 में किए थे, जिसमें बहुत सारे वायलेंस है, एट्रोसिटीज़ है, रिलीजियस एट्रोसिटीज़ तो है ही। हमारे सोसाइटी में एक और बहुत बड़ी थ्रेट है, महिलाओं के साथ जो डिफरेंट तरह के बिहेवियर हो रहे हैं, टॉर्चर हो रहे हैं, बलात्कार हो रहे हैं, वो सारे एक प्रोटेस्ट की तरह हमने दिखाया है। और इधर लास्ट में मैंने देखा इंसान सर पे कपड़ा बांधे, दोनों हाथ ऐसे जोड़े बैठा हुआ है, रहम बोल रहा है, भीख मांग रहा है कि हमें रहम करो। ऐसे चीज़ क्यों हो रहे हैं हमारे समाज में कि कोई आएगा जो सेवियर, जो हमें ये सारी चीज़ों से बचाएगा। इसके कॉन्सेप्ट के ऊपर मैंने किया है। ये भी ऐसा ही है, एक तरह का फियर है, साइकोलॉजिकल प्रेशर है जिसके ऊपर हम जी रहे हैं। उसके साथ नेचर है चारों तरफ, और नेचर में पत्ते नहीं है, सूखे सूखे पेड़ है। ये बहुत रिसेंट काम है, अभी 1 साल पहले का है। नेचर के ऊपर ही जो मैं कर रहा था उसी का ही एक रिफ्लेक्शन है। ये 2024 का काम है और इसमें मैंने भी बहुत सारी चीज़ दिखाया है। ब्लैक एंड वाइट में है ये काम, लिथो में है, बड़ा काम है, 2 पार्ट में है। और इसमें मैंने बुद्धा को भी लाया है कि मुझे फिलॉसफी, बुद्धा की फिलॉसफी, उनके जो प्रीचिंग है, मुझे आज भी लगता है रिलेवेंट है। जबकि हम सारे धर्म में बिलीव करते, सब लोग अपने अपने धर्म में, और हम लोग अलग अलग धर्म में लड़ाई झगड़ा भी कर रहे हैं, लेकिन असली जो है बुद्धा का जो सिंप्लीफिकेशन है लाइफ के बारे में, रिलीजियन के बारे में, वो हमेशा ही पीस की तरफ ही हमें ले जाती है। इसलिए हमने बुद्धा को एक जगह पे प्लेस किया है। और बाकी आप देख सकते हैं, ह्यूमन बीइंग, मैन वुमन रिलेशनशिप है, नेचर है, सारी आर्किटेक्चर है, सारी कुछ है। ये प्योर नेचर के ऊपर है, इसमें कोई फिगर नहीं है, जिसके ऊपर मैंने अभी ये काम किया, लिथोग्राफ है। ये मेरा लास्ट काम है, जनवरी 2025 का लिथोग्राफ है। ये मैंने, इसका टाइटल है स्प्लिटिंग टीयर्स। इसमें बहुत कुछ है, बहुत सारी चीज़ है, एलिमेंट्स है, स्टेटमेंट है। आप इसको जैसे जैसे आप समझ सकते हैं, देख सकते हैं, आपका इंटरप्रिटेशन आप अपने तरीके से कर सकते हैं इस काम के लिए। और मैंने एक सेंटर फिगर है, वुमन दिखाया है, उनकी ब्रेस्ट भी दिखाए हैं, जो जिसे हम ब्रेस्ट को हम मातृत्व के लिए भी सोच सकते हैं, और जिसके पीछे एक दूसरा जो है मतलब उसके इंटरप्रिटेशन ऐसे भी आप ले सकते हैं कि उनका लाइफ जो है खतरे में है। और ये इधर मैंने ब्लू जो है डॉट्स टीयर्स की तरफ दिखाया है। इसमें कुछ रिलीजियन भी है, बहुत सारी चीज़ें, एलिमेंट्स है। झंडा देख सकते हैं, धार्मिक चीज़ हम लोग बोलते हैं, हमें धर्म में ऐसा बोला गया है, ऐसा बोला गया है, लेकिन सामाजिक जीवन में हमारे बहुत सारी चीज़ धर्म को फॉलो नहीं करता। हम जो किताबें हैं हमारी धार्मिक चीज़ है उसको हम फॉलो नहीं करते हैं, वहाँ पे हम सब भूल जाते हैं। जो जिसे हम कहते हैं ह्यूमन इंस्टिंक्ट जो है वो कभी कभी हमें हमारे सिविलाइजेशन से दूर लेके जाती है। और ये सिविलाइजेशन को मैं कहता हूँ कि एक इंडाइजेशन, मेरे पिछले काम का टाइटल था इंडाइजेशन ऑफ सिविलाइजेशन। तो सिविलाइजेशन का इंडाइजेशन हो ही रहा है हमारे लिए, ऐसा लगता है। थैंक यू, दिस इज माय लास्ट। लोगों को कुछ पूछना है पूछ सकते हैं, सवाल वगैरह। नेक्स्ट दोस्त आनंद बैनर्जी अभी कुछ आपको दिखाएंगे अपना काम। लाइट
I don't need the mic.
ठीक, इसको निकाल दीजिए आप, आपको चाहिए स्लाइड?
नहीं, एक पेंटिंग दोबारा देखिए।
थोड़ा सा वहाँ पे लास्ट
His magical world आप कहते हैं, what is the his for you? ये pink one.
नहीं, पिंक वन।
Yeah. In the Nemesis series. No, it was before this.
ये तो आगे जा रहा है।
ये आगे जा रहा है। The Iraq war period, there were three of
अच्छा, बैक कहाँ से होगा?
ऑपोजिट वाला कर,
अपोजिट वाला हो नहीं रहा है ना, थोड़ा हेल्प करो, कैसे जाएगा ये वाला? नहीं,
अंदर वाला
You can do it with the arrow on the side also.
इसमें से देखना,
Yeah, you can use this arrow. Yeah.
साइड वाला, साइड के देख कौन सा, इससे भी आगे।
Yeah, pink
पिंक
one.
वन हो
has
जो
gone
पिंक
down.
वन है।
दिस वन,
Yeah. So before I come to this.
ये लिविंग फॉसिल सीरीज है।
Yeah. But before I come to this, when you say his magical world,
अच्छा
who
अच्छा
is
अच्छा,
your his?
एक्चुअली मैं ये तो नहीं कह सकता, मैं तो गॉड बिलीवर हूँ। तो मेरे लिए गॉड है जो जिन्होंने ये सारी चीज़ का क्रिएटर हैं, और गॉड का हम ब्लेसिंग्स भी है, सब कुछ है, गलत काम भी हम भी कर रहे हैं। अब हम ये नहीं कहेंगे कि उनकी ब्लेसिंग्स है गलत काम करने के लिए। तो ये सारी चीज़ है, उनका वर्ल्ड है और ये मैजिकल है। इसमें बहुत सारी चीज़ होने चाहिए, नहीं होने चाहिए, सब कुछ हो रहा है और ये एक मैजिक की तरह है मेरे लिए।
So in this painting, I was just curious, is that a female figure on the right?
हाँ हाँ, फीमेल फिगर।
And is it a dead fetus in her womb?
यस।
Okay. Okay, thanks.
और भी कुछ पूछना है उधर चाय में?
थोड़ा हैंग हो गया, ज़्यादा
इसका slide वाला ये हाँ 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 right slide
You are there, na? That's you, na?
yeah okay. Okay, so we had Shushant talking about his work, and I personally have a very interesting relation with Shushant, and I call him my black and white friend. When I call him my black and white friend, it does not mean, since he is basically a black and white artist, in terms of his medium, technique, and expression, it is actually, I consider him a very truthful artist. So I term him as my black and white friend. And this term came to my mind actually not spontaneously by me. Whenever I talk about Shushant, I get back to my father. And my father made me realize when we were 24, 5 years old, that this friend of yours is going to run for very long. And I'm very happy that in that forum of running, I also stay with Shushant. That is why and how I cherish living with Shushant. And it is good for me that I am presenting the works of mine exactly after Shushant. This can be little more, a little melodramatic. I mean, if you do not realize my feeling, but it is true. How it is true, जैसे सुशांत ने कहा चाय पे चर्चा हो सकता है. So I begin, and my way of talking is probably going to be little different. Sushant is very passionate about explaining his work, and I am passionate about just throwing certain things to you and then getting back it to me, and I again get back to you, something like that. This is 1977, my self-portrait, and I was a student of third year. We had Acha, okay. Do I just do without this? No. Okay, okay. Okay, so third year of my Delhi College of Art, and I was a student of painting. And we had a very senior, and I respect him till today, from whom I actually learned drawing, apart from my teacher Dhiraj Chaudhary. If I have to really say something about drawing, then it comes to Dhiraj Chaudhary spontaneously in my mind. Bimal Das Gupta spontaneously in my mind, and the third name is Biplavi Samaddar. Biplavi lives here only. I'm going to give him a call again because we were just in the verge of finishing our work, so I didn't call him. Last time, आपको पता है महेंद्र जी Biplavi आया था. अच्छा, he's not now here. Okay. He is the one, because when we talk of teaching or learning art, it is not only necessarily your teacher who can only teach you art. This is a very interesting chapter where me and Dada are going to have a discussion very recently. I mean, just after this. Art teaching could be something, even by walking on the road, reading a newspaper, or reciting a poem, or hymning a song, or anything, you can actually be in the process of art. And Biplabida was definitely our art teacher in a way. He was 3 or 4 years senior to me from my school days to the Delhi College of Art days. And this is what he used to really teach us, and this is where I particularly learned using pencil and throwing away the eraser. No eraser at all. And from this particular day, now my journey will come to you from the quintessential landscape of our life. Let that be from Mahabalipuram or Shantiniketan or anything. And then on the other hand, suddenly in 1994, when I could not recognize one of our guard of Lalit Kala artist studios, Gulab Singh, Shushant will remember. And the reason was, Gulab Singh was clean shaved because of the 1984, after the assassination of Mrs. Gandhi, to save himself from the core of the hard struggle. He shaved off his beard and all, everything, even पगड़ी वगड़ी सब साफ हो गया था, and he just kept on calling me, Anand, Anand. I could recognize the voice, but I could not recognize the person. And then suddenly when he comes in front of me and I see, and then suddenly when he comes up to me and I see and I said, "Oi, Gulab." That was a change in my work. These experiences are very important when you see the works, because when I'm going to show you the work, I'm going to run it. But before that, I just want to share certain experiences which could be helpful for you to read my own work from your perspective. So that quintessential landscape of Mahabalipuram, the Bhima's rock, the this rock, that rock, to the quintessential landscape of Shantiniketan, what Sushant was also explaining, suddenly vanished with this one single experience, which told me or evoked and made me realize that probably the man's feeling are most important to me. I went back to Shantiniketan. That was 84 when in between I came to Delhi during the vacation for 4-5 days. So when I went back, I talked to my teachers like that this has become a little disturbing thing for me. How do I really set aside this and then create my new platter or palette? Then one of my teachers, Shanatkar, one of our most loving teacher, whom we used to actually consider as Baba, means father, and Shanudda told me, try to find, you cannot just take a jump like that, or you rather should not. You try to find human beings in the nature, in the trees, on the road, and then somehow suddenly things started changing as form. That is not as a concept, as form. But then when I came back to Delhi in 85, and then slowly the whatever happening around me slowly started touching me very rigorously. And then there was a very important news in the late 80s or early 90s probably, if I am not wrong, rapes of Gajrola nuns. And that changed everything. And from that particular day till today, it is the human feeling which is most important, not necessarily only the pain. It could be a song, it could be a smile, it could be many things. So in that context now, I'm just going to show you the works, and then if required, going to talk about it, certain things in between. These are certain works which were my sketchbooks part, like this is 1978 when I was still a student, Mahabalipuram. This is one work which actually changed my medium of work. I was a student of painting, and then in 1979, Carol Samad, the famous printmaker of America, came to Delhi, Chandigarh and all for a workshop, woodcut workshop, and then the principal of Chandigarh College of Art, where the whole thing happened, decided to call the one student from the final year batch to take part. And I went there from Delhi College of Art. And then suddenly the medium changed. I became more attracted, rather I shouldn't be using the word attracted, rather engrossed for the medium printmaking. These are Mahabalipuram rocks, as I was saying, quintessential. 81 before going to Shantiniketan. I'm not going to talk about medium and all a bit because, for me, that could come if you have a question. Now, this is where, after the experience, this is, you can see 84, 85, 86. These are all sketches, student life work. Now, this is drawing, but when I say human expressions became very important for me, at times when I draw, I throw color on me and just go and slip on the paper, sit on the paper, stand on the paper, and then create the drawing. So those essences are there if you see the original work or if I enlarge at times. The feeling of struggle is still there, but I'm not going to explain and talk about the stories. You can express, if you can have certain things which talks about the expression of limbs, it may come to you if I could. Now, this is another change. There was a very interesting thing in our life, and there are many things common between me and Sushant otherwise. Let that be the medium, let that be the awards, let that be the scholarships, let that be the visiting of countries, let that be walking together for a number of years, and let that be many more things. This was an experiment in a particular technique which called etching and aqua tint. We were young artists, and we could not really afford to buy a instrument which is called roulet and rocker, very costly one. Now we could afford, we have. So there was another technique which is called aqua tint, and that is how we tried to burnish and get the image. It is the man and woman, man and man, man and nature, man and insect, man and animal, could be anything which is my subject. And I prefer mixing many mediums together. Let that be painting and drawing, let that be drawing and etching, let that be print, many things you will come to know when this is the time when we were really having a lot of talks about apartheid. Nelson Mandela was also to visit, and again, me and Sushant were common to do a kind of poster design for Sabdar Hashmi and for Vivan Sundaram. That was the series. Now, this is a landmark. This is a landmark where I say the series is temptation. I don't call rape. I don't call suicide. I don't call anything. But this is the series which tempted me to come to the real human feeling. The rapes of Gajrola nuns. And when I say, I am not a social commentator, by the way. My way of conceptualizing my work is throwing the thing to you to ponder on your own. So when I say it is temptation. For me, that might have been a temptation, like the way a suicide is also a temptation. And I normally work in a series. Most of the artists, we all do that, because one work probably do not justice to the whole prolific panorama of your thinking. So you can see this is this work is temptation 7. That means there are many. This is temptation 1. Let that be the apple, or let that be, like we say, apple in our body. This is the work which changed the whole panorama. This is another landmark in my life, 1997. I was invited by the French embassy to go to Paris to do a very interesting thing. They call it Les Modèles Estampés, to attend the festival of printmaking, Estampé. And the work is not that probably what is contextually very important. I being an artist, I'm saying that. But the process was very interesting, because we all were actually, this was the time, struggling to create a platform for the medium, passionately as we call printmaking. A medium of pain and pleasure, But then there are many struggles still today. But when we went there to attend, 5 Indian artists were picked up. Uh, the most important thing was the edition was in hundreds. In India, we still think of probably 10 only. It was in 100. 100 means 400. So we were asked to draw on plate, and there was a helper who would do that. But then my question was, why so many? The whole thing was sponsored by Novotel, the world's one of the best chain of hotel. Our going, staying, anything we could buy, anything we could pick up, anything damn thing we could do in Paris. And then there was one studio attached to one artist. And we were asked, and then we were asked to use that particular color only. And so I asked on the last day, why so? So the whole thing was, Novotel director said, this is what is called print publishing. We are going to use this in all our hotel rooms, and we are going to invite 5 artists every month from every different countries. So we have a chain of work which could rotate throughout the world in the Novotel. I wish we had one print publisher like that in India. We tried out that with Welcome Group, but it did not work. That's something else. So this is again a common point between me and Shushan. London, the same scholarship we both went. I went in 96, he went in 97. 96, 97 I stayed, he probably stayed 97, 98 or something, few months here and there. The same technique, the same process, the same transfer, the same thing. And the series is now this. It is a series. The Yellow River. Yellow River is the concept of a dream of a Chinese girl. And Sui, I'm sure you have heard the name. The 3 generation, the grandmother, mother, and Sui. And that was the time when my son was also 9 years old. He would write to me, make a boat, and then my wife would post it. But the boat would come to me, and I had to unfold the boat to read the letter. His way of thinking was as if he was coming to his father, and I realized probably that was a sense of certain things which flows between, like a relation between father and son. So these certain things which are symbolical concept of an artist which stays and walks with us. I do experiment a lot. I mix a lot of mediums. Now many people who understand what is a print will have very hard time to accept that this is a print. This is purely like a painting. But these are my experiments which have gone and traveled so far. I am unfolding the folders medium wise. This is relief woodcut. I was reading Sylvia Plath. And then there was a poem that those legs are finally together. And I am sure you know about Sylvia Plath's poems. Yes, that also touched me a lot. There is no story, no halla gulla, nothing. But then those 2 legs are finally together was enough for me to create this work. This was tribute to Gandhiji, it's now or never. The colors of our country, it's now or never. This was the work which got me the national award, Lalit Kala Academy. Again, the series Now or Never Temptation. This is one of the very, very recent work. Not very recent, probably ये भी 4 साल हो गया होगा, 4-5 साल. This is nowadays I do a lot of experiment and I don't print actually, but I create print. So this is the wood on wood only. The wood is not printed on paper, but wood only, which is one part is laser cut and the other part is hand cut. All the figures, if you see, and a very, very large work. This is 3 feet by 5 feet, so that means 5 feet by 15 feet. Now, this is another episode of printmaking when I went to Japan for Awaji Fellowship. This is water-based printmaking. It's a very interesting technique, which can be non-toxic, called non-toxic too. These are very large work, 5-6 feet. Now, this is a very interesting experiment. This is a 2-3 years old work. This is not printed on paper. This is printed on 3 gateway sheets, the tracing sheets, but the imported proper polyester gateway sheets so that it has life and all. And various colors are printed on, 3 colors are printed on 3 sheets and placed one on top of that while framing. So I actually move, and I believe in a concept which is very important to me, is extending the parameter of the traditional practices to really, as my friend Sushant says, to term it contemporary. This is the world upside down. And if you can make out, unfortunately or fortunately, the portrait is no one else than Sushant. Now this is also an experiment to create effect of painting in print. Now this is another experiment, massive experiment, and which was really enjoyed by the whole art world. This is print on mirror. Instead of the paper, what I must make you understand. You see the head of the man, the bust. You can see the reflection. The friend who was photographing, he's already there in the work. But the rest is not mirror. The rest, the whole mirror part, which is called mica, wo utha liya gaya tha. That was scrapped. And from the back side, the image was created and it was framed like that. So when, what was the concept here? The concept here is a very interesting. Print exists in multiples. So if I create a print, Dada can have, Bodhi can have, Nilimadin can have, Mahendraji can have, my cousin can have, anyone. The same work. Unfortunately or fortunately, you may see in Facebook 2 friends flaunting a Fab India shirt together. But 2 friends do not like to buy the same image of print from the same artist. Because the culture of education or education of printmaking culture is not really been propagated rightly. So what experiment I did, that I'm creating print, but it can create new image every time. The same frame, if you now keep it in front of India Gate will be reflected in my work. The same work, if it is brought here, the image will change. That means I am challenging the created image, or rather expanding the status of the created image. This is a very large work. The black parts are the mirror. So large that it is 8 feet high. So, there was a problem in the photography there. These 2 works were in Triennale. The last ever Triennale Lalit Kala had. Now, this is another medium and a very interesting way of experimentation of mind, which I personally love a lot. is that I call this walk, still plays the tune Mere Watan Ke Logo. I mean, you all can understand. Now, in one work, I will try to talk about, like Sushant, and make you understand. By seeing the walk, you can see that this is probably a soldier. But then he has lost his one leg. But this is his national feeling, not necessarily that only you have to hold a gun to save your country. If you are out of the field, you can still sing the song Mere Watan Ke Logo. These are very, very personal work of mine, which is actually, I must tell you, that these are cast of my chest of 2002, 2000. There was a mold, and from that mold, I create the cast. I cast, and that is why I say that these are Dil Da Mamla Hai. The whole concept, there were 20 odd walks, and the 20 odd walks was under one frame, that is Dil Da Mamla Hai. But each walk was termed, like this is entwined. Okay. It's like, hey, Sushant has come back. So he wants me to make you understand cast of what? Mold of my chest, cast in pulp, paper pulp. When we say paper pulp, remember one thing, one of the toughest material we do not know. But don't confuse this as paper mache, no. This is pure paper pulp, which is pure hosiery. Me and my friend, Dattatreya Apte, who has worked a lot in this technique, we used to go to a paper making industry, जहाँ paper बनते हैं. So they use a pulp. We used to buy the pulp. We used to make the pulp grain, mash, squeezed in our own required, frame, and then we used to cast the whole mold. और धूप में रखना पड़ता है, फिर वो सूख जाता है, आप निकाल लेते हो, फिर और एक करते हो, फिर और एक करते हो. So I had a cast of my own chest, 100, and I did produce 20 once and 5 once, 25. 75 molds are still there with me, the stories will come later on somehow, someday. Now, these two works are entwined in a real sense. Please see it one after one. And these two works are actually placed ऊपर नीचे करके. But the next, ये मुझे लाना था वो slide. This was turned like this, upside down. Are you getting my point? This is pure chest, and this was turned upside down. And the story is, this is Gandhi's movement, 1947, the March of 1947, and this is March of 2002, that is Godhra Kand. So when I began, I said that I don't really point out like this and make you say that this is this, but I make you subconsciously come to the subject if you are socially aware of what's happening around you. There is a very large painting. Oil bar, and acrylic. Now, this is one of the most recent work. We had just finished one show in Stainless Gallery, Delhi, and these works are now shown in Gurgaon somewhere. Yeah, Jindal's gallery, that, yeah. Now, I intentionally picked up fewer lots of works because it is not the works which is, like in one given time you cannot show. Probably we have done thousands of works. But what was my intention is only to make you realize and understand that my change from quintessential landscape to the figure had many solid reasons. And all my visits through the world actually helped me to really come in terms with the technical know-how, because as it goes, it is the skill, technical know-how, and the sense of aesthetics which actually makes us artists. We probably do not have to really go to a school or college, but then that is not something protesting against it or for it. That is the most important thing. How, what one of my teachers said was very right. जैसे हम छोटे होते थे तो हमारे साथ एक फैमिली रहते थे एंड द आंटी यूज्ड टू से अरे बापी तू तो फोटो बहुत बढ़िया बना लेता है. Now, this is a very interesting thing. But remember, we do not make photos. That journey is very important to understand. It is not replica or reflection of anything. If it is replica or reflection of anything, that could be a learning process. But an artist is something. Tagore said a very interesting thing. চোখের আলোয় দেখেছিলেম চোখের বাইরে অন্তরে যে দেখব যেথা আলোক নাই রে. I have seen everything of the world, but which is outside my eyes, through my eyes. But if I have to see something from inner side, then I have to close my eyes. And one of my teacher, predominantly he was right to say that this is probably is one of the basic kind of differences, not differences, basic kind of two platters of Western and Eastern art. One could be the best example of the exterior of the external world, and one could be the best example of the interior of the internal world. That is why we have goddess with 10 hands or God with trunk, but they have David and they have Michelangelo, but we have Shivlinga. Thank you. Is that, we have various kind of experiences in our life. I must tell you one thing. It is all about Dada's part, I must tell first, that there are people who are mentally disturbed. There are people who are autistic. There are people, we understand all this. And then there are people who go to college but still not an artist. But there are people who do not go to anywhere and they are artists. How do I begin? Dada had sent me some images also, but that's in WhatsApp. We can just talk about it, and if required, we can show you the works. That should be shown, but then from my WhatsApp, it has to come to this. That expert has to. So I just finish it this way. Can I have a paper, simple paper? Sushant, are you carrying your sketchbook today? And a pencil. It would be a very interesting thing. We will. वो expert को दादा एक बार आप नहीं जावें ना कोता है एक मिनट लाइट जला दीजिए अब नहीं वो तब तक कर लेगा मेरे मोबाइल में कुछ फोटो है उसको यहाँ दिखाना है वही they will do I know दादर मोबाइल थे की हो जाए व्हाट्सएप anyway so सुशांत and a pencil please पेन है बहुत अच्छा है I'll start this way. Let that be. And I request all the artist friends, I request anyone to participate in this, That would be best. It is not a dialogue or monologue. Let that be Khalil Gibran's poems, or let that be Tagore's sentence, or let that be Picasso's uh, how long I still have to take to paint like a child. Or let that be any such examples we have throughout in our life. As a teacher, I know when I was teaching, I taught in Delhi Public School, RK Puram, for only 11 days. Mr. Lugani was very interested. He saw my work in Delhi College of Art. I got the Best Student Award, and he just said to the principal, send this young boy. So next morning, my principal, Vishwanath Mukherjee, a very tall man with a very massive voice, Baba, tumhara to naukri lag gaya, tum jao. So I went there, very interesting person, Mr. Lugani. But then within 11 days, I got a call from South Delhi Polytechnic, so I went there. Because I used to think that I'm little weak or tough communicating with these kids at that time. But I remember one example, Suruchi Jayachand. वही 11 दिन में सुरुचि brought a walk to me. I saw it और मैंने ऐसे कर लिया. सुरुचि ने खींच लिया, फिर उसने ऐसे कर लिया. मैंने फिर देखा, मैं कहा यार नहीं, मैंने ऐसे कर लिया. Then she couldn't resist. She said, "Sir, I painted it like that because I dreamt it like that." A teaching to me. We don't think, I mean, this is what probably Dada is trying to point at, that is there a classified, qualified education which makes a man perfect as an artist, or we can actually talk on various other processes. The second thing is this. हम सब इसको एक hat कहेंगे, हम सब इसको एक बर्तन कहेंगे, but ये ना hat है, ना बर्तन है, ये वर्ल्ड का सबसे बड़ा सांप बोआ जिसने एक हाथी निगल गया. Now this could be very abstract. Abstract doesn't mean that you just leave no drawing, no. This could be very abstract, but this is all about that book I always come across and tell everyone, Little Prince. A small boy who used to just doodle, and his parents used to get bugged. Arey yaar, kya kar rahe yaar? His uncle said, "Come and join our party." He says, "Party with you all foolish guys?" And then his uncle got like, "They're foolish." But then truly that book will make you understand that unless you dream, we all are foolish. Unless you know to dream, we all are foolish. Because dream extends our knowledge. The prescribed knowledge is extended by a dream. Like we say that we draw a segment of a line and can never draw a line, because line is infinite. So this whole concept of understanding of art and thing is so important, and we can just have a kind of small discussion once these works are shown to you. Okay? तब तक कौन गाना गाएगा? ऐसा है नीलिमा जी. We all decided to finish within half an hour, isn't it? So frame को ऐसा रखने की and then one artist per day. That could have been, but वो नहीं है. इस बार activity बहुत है. महेंद्र जी और दादा ने एकदम और बोधी ने ऊपर से जो, अरे बाबा. Oh yeah. Well, to be frank, as I said in the beginning, it is not only the Gajrola rapes of nuns, it could be happiness, everything. So you use the word mystery, I use the word journey. It could be anything. I mean, it is not only struggle. There are many episodes, like when I say there are three layers of colors being just juxtaposed together. There are certain things where I use the mirror. A child can come and just smile. That will become part of my work. So I use the term, for me, it is the journey of my concept. And but when I say concept, it is not too much of a story. It is actually a very sincere, touched journey. Anyone else? This is ha. Dada, Dada, we have started.
Hello. Good evening, everybody. I'm sorry to, I'm sorry, I was trying to fill in the blank kind of thing, like we 5 minute का time था तो मैंने कहा I grabbed I snatched the mic from him and then, well, first of all, sir, thank you very much. And honestly speaking, I mean, it's a learning and marvelous experience what we are going through after listening to your experiences and the works. I'm not debating or saying or anything on the techniques. Like Mr. Roy had a different technique yesterday, Shushanto had a different technique, you have a different technique, and others have a different kind of techniques. And my question is not that. But thank you very much. I mean, all of three of you have shared your last 40 years with us, which is a rare thing and remarkable. Thank you very much. And it opens our eyes, get the kind of things people have gone through. I mean, I'm trying to explain it in my own fashion. I'm sorry, maybe I'm not trying. And it was wonderful. I mean, for me, uh, it was an experience like if probably you may have read that book, King Arthur and his Noble Knights. I mean, it is like the King Arthur holding the meetings in the night, and the knights would come and explain their things, what they have done in the war. And by the morning, when the sun starts, I mean, there's a big party of these knights. People have drinking, enjoying, eating, and narrating their stories and their achievements. And the condition was like just the sunlight breaks and is the day. So it is like, I mean, it's a big jolt. What you guys have gone through and what you are presenting. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohinderji, from all our artists, on behalf of all our artist friends. And we are also grateful to you to have given us this platform. Huh, ho gaya? Acha. We are not going to take a lot of time, but it could be 5-10 minutes if you all can participate. There are 3 works Dada wants to show, and 1 work is under the guidance of a teacher, and 2 works are not. I am sure it could be very simple to identify, or it could be very difficult we would like to know that first and then talk for 2 minutes. हाँ. Now, these are the 3 walks. It seems as if we have understood which is under the guidance of a teacher, but not necessarily. But still, if we can, let me just not ask the artist friends to begin with. Let me ask one person who can be very, very, आप बताए एक चीज, ये जो 3 काम आपने देखे, हाँ दोबारा दिखा रहे, उसमें से एक काम किसी शिक्षक के साथ सीखा गया और 2 काम अपने आप किया गया. हाँ, तो बताइए कौन सा काम लगता है आपको देख के शिक्षक के साथ किया गया? हाँ दिखाइए और एक बार दादा. हाँ, कौन सा लगता है आपको शिक्षक के साथ सीखा गया? बोलिए कोई भी, तीनों में से कौन सा? पहला, दूसरा, तीसरा.
ये खुद से किया गया है, इसको खुद से सीखा गया है. तीसरा
बहुत सही पहचाना. वी ऑल न्यू इट कि ये स्कूल से सीखा गया. You know, we all generally think, Jitendra will throw the last slide for all of us and then we go for chai ka charcha. Because among us, we all have been under certain training at certain point. Even Sanjoy, though not have been to a college or a regular training, but he had contact like this. But then Jitendra, I will pick up Jitendra with all your permission only because a man from army and still paints. Jitendra, just put the last line and finish the chapter that for art education, do you think that a pure schooling of qualified education is required or she has done it, she has understood.
Okay, actually, I will tell you when this was shown to me by Devika who was here, and this was Devika's niece, and she was showing me that this is only a 11-year-old girl who is drawing this, and she is, in fact, the name of the teacher also she has mentioned, which I don't want to mention here. The other two is actually, that girl is about 27, 28, but she's suffering from some severe mental problem. So she is being taught by my daughter, not painting, but how to mix color and how to do rest. And she is very clear about the subjects. She does not take any instructions, and she draws, and her, in fact, I have got 10 of her. One is, there is a girl very jealous of her brother tying a rakhi and not wanting to tie because the brother is putting his hand behind with the gift. So she's very reluctantly trying the rakhi. I just wanted to show just this. No, we can, but since there was dearth of time, I did it. But I thought this discussion would help many art teachers of the country to know or how to, because I find teaching a boy art, I remember when we had an art teacher, it was very standard thing for all the schools. Draw a beautiful scene, and the result was a mountain, a sun in between, and a river flowing, and the development would be, there would be a hut next to it, another person will draw another dog. So that was the thing which was going on for years. I think Ananda would, but I'm talking about 40 years back. Maybe the children are now smarter. Now they are drawing like this. So now tell me, Ananda, how do we teach the teachers how to teach children how to paint?
Okay, I will just put with one word of one of my great teacher, K.G. Subramanian. He used to say, the best quality of a teacher while teaching is to nurture the quality whatever the student already possesses. It is not what I know, it is what you know. I can only, जैसे माँ बच्चे को हाथ पकड़ के रास्ता क्रॉस कराना सिखा देता है, I can only teach you that much, that this is pencil, this is this, this is this, this is this. The rest should be what you know. And I am sure there are some institutions and schools, Dada, because we know there are prolific, fantastic art teachers too. But then you are right to point out that yes, this should be taken very, very, very seriously. Jitendra, just put the last lines and.
Well, I had been asked whether art education can really make an artist, or without that, is it all right? Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. Whether art education can make an artist, or artists are probably already born. So probably this is the kind of thing. The question is that, no, isn't it? Okay. I take it this way, Gita, there is a sentence, it's not an, any book of art, but, oh, sorry. Answer. The sentence from Gita is something like this: Prakritim janti bhutani nigraha kim karishyati. Bhutani means all animals, all living beings. They follow the Prakriti. Prakriti means, the inborn qualities. Nigraha kim karishyati. Nigraha means discipline. We don't have to impose any discipline. All living beings, they follow their own, the inborn qualities. Any further discipline should not be imposed. But in this case, generally, we say that artists are born, they are not made. If that is the case, then probably art education may not be required, but not correct. It is required because when somebody is born with artistic talents, and if some guide is there to guide him in a proper way, probably he can excel. But if somebody doesn't have that artistic quality, inborn quality, and still they are struggling, then probably I'll say a donkey is trying to be a horse. So, or probably his case will be, he's still sitting on a rocking horse, not moving an inch, but having the pleasure of riding. So, I'll give another example. So I'm untrained artist. Sometimes I do some work. Accidentally, I put a stroke on the canvas. And stroke looks, that particular stroke, it looks very good. And probably it does not fit into the whole chorus in the canvas. Yet, I like that particular stroke, and I keep it. It may be, out of tune, quite possible. But that particular stroke, it taught me one thing. First thing I did accidentally, it looks good, I find it artistic. And now same stroke, I used in a planned way in another next canvas. So my own work teaches me. Every time I do something, then some certain things teaches me to improve my next canvas. It goes on. So that is probably self-teaching. I said, this is, this is a long process. If I go by that to become an artist, with my own experience, learning from my own experience, it will take a long time. but somebody is already there who had all these experiences in him or her. If those people, they enlighten the person who are having this kind of inborn capabilities, probably it is much easier, much less time taking, and they can probably make somebody artist, they can show the light in a better way. So if somebody is having inborn quality and they are going through art institutions, it is a marvelous thing. Thank you.
Well, I just, actually, whatever Dada has said, whatever Ananda has said is perfect. My question was slightly different. When this Devika showed me this painting, it is really, the teacher has taught the girl very well, and she has made a wonderful thing. It's a beautiful thing. But the question is, what I feel, an 11-year-old child, she has time, this here, I think the technique has been taught to her, and she has done a wonderful job. But my intention of showing this was that here you see there is technique is totally missing. But when I showed this to Jitendra last night, he said, this is a beautiful work. So I was just wondering, what is beautiful? When I saw this one, thoda sa light, isko band kar sakte hai 1 minute ke liye? Now, if you see this, it is, the girl has said this is Eid Milan. So one head she turns, so you see the back of the head, other face you see, her colors are kind of two sides. This also almost looks like, I think very contemporary. You can see the facial expression. I'm sure the other girl also has those talents. My only reason for putting this across was, Anand, who is very academic, he would say something so that all the teachers of the country know what to do. And that is what I feel, the teachers should first see what is the potential. Technique can be gradually shown, and the shadows, etc., they will come, but there must be something in this child which wants to express. That the teacher has to find out.
I can understand the emotional outburst of Dada, but this is a serious question, which, it can be really debated for very, very long. But still we have to frame it and finish it. So what I personally think as a teacher is that 11 years old or 17 years old is not the very important factor for me, but the important factor is it is shown by a teacher, fine. So I learn a skill, I learn a technique, but then the point is the teacher should also make the student understand that you have learned something, now create something yourself totally. Then that could have been a very interesting example. But on the other hand, the other two works will always remain marvelous, because it is, again I am saying, it is the mind's eye. It is through the mind's eye. Even Vinodda, when he became blind, or rather nearing to becoming blind, his works, finally he used to do paper cutting. He knew the drawing, so he used to do paper cutting so that he could read the structure of the drawing. So the teacher, I am sure, because I know the art teachers, Dada, who are very sensitive to this approach. They know it. But yes, if it is missing, it should not miss. That is for sure for all teachers. The chapter of knowing and unknowing. The last word from Manida again, when we went to do masters in Shantiniketan, his first word was, whatever you have learned, now you have to unlearn. And whatever you have learned, if you have unlearned, now relearn. Thank you. That Dada has to do justice.